Welcome back to the channel. It's Retro Collage, just being weird. And literally, I am just being weird. This is just having some fun with some magazines, pictures, glue, and scissors, and I hope you enjoy and get something out of it. So I literally just found a picture from a coffee table book and then started cutting up some old magazines. And when you're doing collage, the best way to do it is just cut out rough images. You might use them all, you might use half of them, and you might need some more. So I literally just started cutting out ones that I found interesting. The next stage for collage is cutting out the images more precisely. It's best idea to go around with scissors first and then go in with a little craft knife. So all you really need for this tool is, or this project, is old magazines or pictures, scissors, glue, and a small craft or X-Acto knife if you have it. It's good if you have a cutting mat as well for when you're doing the intricate cuts like I'm doing here. If you like our channel and doing some fun crafts, then I encourage you to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. And when you're doing collage, the possibilities are completely limitless. You can do something serious, you can do something funny, and the idea is to just have some fun. It doesn't have to make sense at all, which you will see as I'm carrying on with my picture here. You don't need to go into as much detail as I did here when I'm cutting out the ski lift, but the more details you take out, the better it's going to look on the other page that you're gluing it onto, because the background from the old picture will be removed and the background from the picture that you're using will be showing through. So the more time you spend on this, the better it will look in the end. Don't forget to use words in magazines, are always fun. So I've cut out some words you'll see later on. Letters, you can combine different letters to create some fun sayings. And if you don't even know where to start with a collage, pick something that you like, even if it's a color or the theme of flowers or happiness or spring. And that's really what I was going for here. I was in a mood to craft, but I just didn't feel like getting out a whole bunch of crafting things to make some books, which I usually make. And I was flipping through magazines and I found all these fun images. We're kind of halfway between winter and spring right now. You never know what you're going to get. And these pictures just resonated with me. It was like getting outside, getting some energy. And I thought, why not just do it? And your craft projects don't need to make a lot of sense all the time. They don't need to make sense any of the time, really. As long as you're getting something out of it, that's the most important thing. And I have to remind myself of that each time I craft, because I'm often looking for an end goal and why am I crafting. But this one is just for pure bliss and just literally, like I said at the beginning, just being a bit weird, having some fun with it, seeing how creative I can get with the magazines that I have on hand. Free magazines are everywhere. They're in grocery stores or health food stores. They're often just in the mail, like junk mail. So don't throw them away. Keep them, because even the ones that have hardly any images in them, they have something. So if you're going for a color theme, you could cut out something red or a pattern in the magazines. They all have words, which is great, so you can combine them. And if you don't want to store a bunch of magazines, cut out the pages and keep them in a little file folder. And you can use them for projects now or later on. So other places that you could get images from is that you could use photographs. We all have digital photographs now, but if you had old analog photographs, you could photocopy those. So you could do family memories or family trips. And if you were loving your collage so much, you could actually frame your collage and keep it for a keepsake or give it away to family or friends that might be in the photo. I love the idea of collage for so many reasons. It's just so freeing. You couldn't do this in front of the TV, listening to music. There's really, I don't want to say it's mindless, but it's kind of close. Like you are just there with some scissors and looking for some fun images with no other expectations in your project that you're working on. Now for the back picture, I mentioned that I got it from a coffee table book, and I don't want to encourage you to go and pick up your good coffee table book, but secondhand stores have several coffee table books in them, that the secondhand stores that I go to anyway. I think a lot of people are getting rid of their coffee table books, and it's a real shame because the pictures, well, it's good for us crafters, but it's too bad people give them away because they're so beautiful. So landscape ones are great to look for. Photography ones are another good one. There's so many on Canada. I'm Canadian, so there's so many on Canada, and parks, national parks, provincial parks, all that kind of thing. So these pictures really just give a picture, and the word is on the other side usually. So you don't have to worry about doing a collage page with pictures. But of course, if your coffee table book had words and pictures on the same page, don't get discouraged. You can cover up the words with some of your design choices, or leave some of the words there. So it's really up to you. And that's, again, one of the really fun things about collage is you are making it your own. The other fun thing about this craft is you can do it with pretty much any age group. So if you had young kids, you could do it with young kids. If you had older family members, you could definitely do it with older family members. If people aren't as agile using scissors, you could cut out the images first for them, and then they could glue them onto the page and create something just for them. So a lot of options. When working with kids in collage, I often like to suggest a theme to kids and find out what their theme is. And it might be animals is always a fun one. For kids, they'll say dogs or cats or just animals in general. So when they look through their magazines, they will find images of animals, and it's also easy for them to recognize. And if they can spell or want help spelling, then they could cut out different letters and spell some animal words. So fun project there for sure. Get them off the screens and that kind of thing. Adding detail to a ponytail is kind of fun because, again, like I said earlier, the idea of taking away anything from the cut out pieces will just add more detail to your collage when you glue it onto your main board, because I'll be seeing my background, not the background from the original picture in the magazine. This one I really liked because it had 3 different levels of like a perspective of the flags and the lamppost. And I was really keen on using this, and you'll see that I just can't make it fit, but I'll save that for another collage, for another time. You don't need to save all these images for collaging as well. If you're doing anything like junk journaling, mini books, or some of the other craft ideas that I've done on this channel, you can certainly add these elements to those projects as well. You can add ink to them, and you could add ink to your collages as well. If you have alphabet stamps or just stamps of images, stamp over your collage. Really make it a piece of art, because who says art has to be just like watercolor, oils? Art is collage. And some of the art collage, if you Google it online, gosh, you can see why it's an art form, really. So it's just all about the materials that you have at hand, like picture-wise. So this is my picture. I don't know what it's of, to be honest. I think it was of a, obviously a landscape. I think it was a photography magazine. And not a magazine, sorry, a coffee table book. So it's nice and thick pages as well, which is what I like about those kind of books as well. So you can see I trimmed the legs off of the 2 little people at the back there. So as you're putting your pictures onto your background, you'll want to make some changes, some adjustments. You might need to cut off a leg or an arm or whatever the case may be to make it look like it's fitting into the picture better. If I had more patience, I would cut out more of the wheel, and I think that I end up doing that, I believe, because those spokes really are taking away from the whole picture. And yes, I do, thank goodness, because the white was just too blocking. It didn't look, I want to say it didn't look real, but the whole picture doesn't look real, but I wanted to see the background of my background image, not of the white wheels from the original piece. So a good idea when you have all your images cut out is to place them on your page that you're going to be gluing them down, and just spend some time like moving them all around. See what's going to work. See if you want to add some some words and where those words would go. Do you have enough images cut out? Do you need to cut out more? The other fun thing to remember with collage is nothing has to be in the right perspective. So as you can see on mine, there are bigger people and smaller people, and they don't all have to make sense. There could be small people in the foreground and bigger people in the background. So you just keep adding, and there's that, I just really want to make that work, that lamppost with the flags, but I just can't seem to fit it in. I love the bear and the squirrel, and the guy in the middle, I cut him out. He's actually, if you looked at the picture where I cut him out from, he's a DJ, so he's actually playing to big crowds. And then I saw this picture of a girl playing football or holding a football. I thought, well, that's kind of fun too, because they have the sports elements now. And you also have all the seasons. We have the skiers up there. We have the rafters. We have this girl that was on a beach playing with a football, and the girl in the red jacket looks like kind of a winter scene as well. I cut the raft with the lady's arm in the middle, so it had a bit more flow. It's kind of fun to figure out how your flow is going to work on these types of things. And again, don't get discouraged if the pictures you cut out you just don't like. Sometimes you might have to find a new background image, might fit it better. Background images could be anything. Could be an urban setting would be fun too. If you had pictures of buildings and that kind of thing, you'd have people coming out of buildings or climbing up buildings, and that would be a lot of fun. Street scenes would be fun. This cat was hilarious. I found it thinking that I needed some more images, and I found the perfect spot for it. Totally my favorite of the whole picture. Look at that. It fits right on the mountaintop with explore new perspectives right on there. It just, having that element of craziness in there, I just love it. It's great. Like, who would have a big cat lying on a mountain? Only in collage. This is a fun picture of an old camper van as well from a magazine, travel magazine, I believe. And this has a lot of possibilities. I'm happy with how it worked out. I think it could have gone a lot of different places, but in the end, it's pretty good. I wanted to keep the man and the dog in there, but it just wasn't working out. So you'll see that I adjusted a little bit. I like the DJ guy right in the middle. He's kind of like the conductor for the whole scene. That's how I kind of viewed it. Another canoe that I'm thinking that I can get in there, and you're going to see that I can't get that one to work either. So a lot of this is just really trial and error, having fun with pictures, and remember, what you're cutting out is not a waste of time, because no doubt you will use this in another collage, or a card that you might be making for somebody, or a mini book, or a junk journal. So keep all of those things, because there are often so many uses for that one piece that you cut out. In the end, I probably could have added a lot more images to this, but I was pretty happy with how it was working. Again, I can't get that lamppost in there no matter what I do. You can see the spokes look a lot better now that I've cut the white out. The cat's still my favorite. And the camper looks like it's camping right there, so it seems like a good fit for there. All these elements coming into this one spot. So I hope you have got some ideas for doing a collage, even if you haven't done one in a while, or maybe you do them all the time. But this is hopefully just a little video to give you a bit of inspiration on going, gosh, I'm just going to get out some old magazines and just start cutting. Even if you cut one day and glue the next, and sit in front of the TV, turn on your favorite Netflix show, start cutting away, and you'll be surprised at actually how many images you can find in a magazine. A tip, though, is to make sure that you always look at the other side of the image before you cut it. And here's my image done. I cut out some words saying, let's go, explore new perspectives. There's the cat. Oh, so cute. I drew a line for the ski lift and just regular glue stick I use to glue everything down. So that brings me joy. I hope it brought you some joy. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Go have some fun. And it's okay to be weird.